Hi, my name is Johnny Mae Middleton, and I am a practicing um, counselor, LPC, uh, in Mid America. Springfield, Missouri is where I practice at, and um, I have wanted to be a minister from a very early age, but instead I went into medicine and counseling, social work, and uh, I practiced metaphysics in California and studied Buddhism for 5 years. But today I am here wanting to present a overview of practical metaphysics as part of my ministry. And I feel that people need to know that uh, metaphysics and the so-called new age of believing is really very the first thing that ever happened. It's associated with the first cause of love, that which is God. So before saying anything else, I want everybody to consider that our business here is to understand man's mind to woman and men and women's minds to God, and what that means to us, as there can be no separation in God and man. It's just not ever going to be that way, and it's not meant to be that way. So in effect, as I have also achieved a minister's license in what I kind of like call secular religion, because it sets man outside of the heart of God. And so you're always looking for, searching for, and saying to yourself that when I find God, I'll know, because I'll be a changed person. All you have to do is look inside. So today's this little talk that I want to give, I don't know how long it's going to be, because this is really my first time, and it's kind of weird, even though I've talked to thousands of people about their sad experiences, and I prayed with people and things like that. It's still a first time thing. So what can I say about getting ready to go into a practice of metaphysics? I think the first thing that a person would want to do is, if they really found that they have a lack of in that area and would like to know more about who and what they really are and why they're here, one should go into practicing meditation on at least a daily basis, and for 20 minutes to start off at least. And then as time goes on, an hour is like nothing. I mean, certainly a half an hour is easy for a person, and it just sets the tone and it helps you to get ready for every day. Today I was going to talk firstly about eliminating negativity in your life and figuring out how to appropriate a positive reality for yourself. So first of all, to appropriate a positive reality for yourself is to realize that you really don't have to be in control of whatever is causing the negativity. You can bypass that with just a thought, but it takes practice and preparation. The one thing, though, that one must know is that if you wake up in the morning and you decide you're going to have a good morning, if you know God and the universe and what any of that means, you can feel in your heart and let go and let God. Or you can say you let go and let the universe. And if an inanimate object makes you happy, you can let go and let that propel you forward in your day and give you a reason to smile or receive a person in a pleasant attitude. So that was going to be the plan. But I think an overview of ideas for today would be better. And then I plan to get back within in the week. I'm not going to get on. I don't think I'll be on here on a daily basis. I think it'll be more or less like once a week. And hopefully somebody will get something out of this, out of these little talks and things. So, of course, in order to get anywhere in life, a person would want to establish some comfort for themselves. Even a kid at home would want to establish comfort in their parents' homes, and you do that by you're accustomed to it, so most people know how to behave so that they can be fairly comfortable and have their space secure in that home. So you want to be able to get and keep a measure of prosperity in your life. And whatever age you are, you can look and say, you would know what prosperity means. Prosperity to me means being able to comfortably have a few things, without worry and strain, and be able to, even in strain and worry times, be able to go ahead and go with the flow. And go with the flow. You go back to the source, which is the universe. It's never going to let you down. There's a lot of Bible verses, and there's a lot of verse from Buddha and every other religious leader that there is. There's the Old Testament, and there's even from the Muslim point of view, Islam, they relate to how the universe, in other words, they may say Allah or God, but it all boils down to the universe, because there's just no separation, and none of that. Creation is what it is. And you can say, I am that I am, and you are. So getting and keeping prosperity, whatever your prosperity is, whatever you feel that your prosperity is, know that and reach for that. And the next thing that a person will want to do in order to, and this is in order to practice mysticism, like everyday mysticism, not woohoo mysticism once a month or at a Halloween party or anything like that. It would be everyday mysticism, just like people, some witches are real witches, and they practice peace and love, and they praise creation, whatever it is. They do it unceasingly. They're going to be that every day. There's things they do every day. And then there are those that are witches on Halloween, or witches at a party, and whenever it sensationalizes them. But that is really just ego personalities. Like, you can take them off and put them on. It's almost like a DID, dissociative identity disorder. But of course, a true dissociative person sometimes doesn't even know that they are a host and possess many personalities. And it's less to do with ego. Ego personality is, and proper can be, a state of being. So these people that I spoke of earlier, just a moment ago, about a witch who's a witch on these days or that days, or on a sensationalized day, they're practicing really ego state religious order, which is, I would be, if I was a witch. Some people have called me that, but I think that it's so much more to be uh, naturalistic and realistic, and metaphysics is just at the base of every one of these religious practices. Metaphysics in its truest form is love, and God is love. So there's really not no limit if you really allow yourself to feel that. So all major religions, and witchcraft included, paganism, what's at the base of those religions is us, our love, and our search to get back to the universe, or maybe even a little bit less than that, the Big Bang, get back to God. So prosperity. Then the next thing that you might want to, that you would want to develop would be realization, self-realization, and conscious and spiritual, as it were, as I were taught through the studies at the University of Metaphysics. I also studied with the University of Edinburgh on parapsychology, but parapsychology it really is time consuming, and it kind of is just one aspect of metaphysics, which also places you outside of God, like you're looking for something that's hiding, or that's lost. But no, you got to know spirits are walking around everywhere, and you, if you wanted to, you could see them just as easily as any medium. But we don't choose to do that because we don't trust in the who and the what we really are. So a spiritual consciousness is getting to where you know who you are. So you know who you are. And we'll get more into that as time goes by, but you're the business of God, and God should be your business. Mankind is the manifestation of God's love here on earth, and that's who we are. What we are is all flesh and all spirit, and why we are is to serve God in all of our own ways and to the utmost. That might sound hard, but once you get rolling, it's really not. It's just like any other thing, and I want to say more than a habit. It gets to be like a reflex response. You wouldn't want to go outside. You couldn't look out the window without praising God, because boom, there he is. So how would one go about, putting some steam behind what they say they want? Like if you sat down and you say, well, I want a brand new blue Cadillac and I wanted this color, and you just sit there and you say, oh, I want to, why isn't it coming? Because you have to get up and go make it happen. So you pray for something, and the manifestation of it is in action towards making it happen. The mental images are awesome. You must have those. You must take time and choose what you want. Be staunch on that thing that you want. Don't lose sight of what you want. And imagine that you're in that, doing that, and living that, and then go out as if you go and do the act of putting yourself in a position to receive and expect those things. You can find out more about that through a study and a few books that you can get. There's tons of books, not a few, but there's tons. And the best, of course, that I could recommend would be a course study with the University of Metaphysics or another qualified university. They have some now. When I first started out in metaphysics many years ago, they didn't have very much. The universities where I was at in California, that was like I guess they thought it was kind of like a joke or something, but not really. They just didn't promote it because, church and religion have been forms of control and forms of money-making things to do. There were a lot of people who were frauds and got busted and went to prison and everything else, just like in any other organized situation. There's going to be crime. So anyway, I don't want to get far off into that because then that brings up the issue of maybe some karma, which is questionable anyway. So back when I was studying, like I said, there wasn't very much in the way of education for paranormal studies in the States. So I studied with private mystics, and I was invited to study at the Sakagakai in Japan. That's practicing Buddhism for 5 years and trying to understand about a God, because ever since I knew myself to be in existence, I missed God. I felt like I was God. I felt God in me, and I knew that there was no way to get away from him, which was a great comfort, even at a young age. But church really kind of held me back for a number of years and kind of freaked me out. But anyway, I went on and got what I could get from private studies of Buddhism, and I supported myself doing all sorts of mystical practices, reading cards. I read a deck of cards when I was 11 years old. There was nobody to tell me that I couldn't. And so once I had my first, I had my first spiritual encounter with an apparition at the age of, I would say, consciously knowing that something was different, and it wasn't odd to me because my mom never told me that it was wrong, but I was about 8 years old. And I think it freaked out a whole bunch of people because they could see right through me. So those kind of things, especially if you go at it with a pure and precious mind, you're going to achieve your goal. So that takes you right back to getting and keeping prosperity. You go at it in that mindset, like the Bible says, come with the mind of a child. In other words, it uses other words. I know the Bible pretty good, but I don't always know where everything is, and you can Google that. Google's so wonderful. That's Steve Jobs. Oh my God. Did he do Google or whatever? Anyway, I met him in college. Yay! He was so smart. He could have did anything. But anyway, let's see. So we talked about that, how to get that Cadillac if that's what you want. And I watched on Dr. Master's show where don't ask for a Mercedes-Benz because they really are at the bottom of the barrel. So I hope that Cadillac that sports model is a good car. So then we want to go on and talk a little bit at some point during these wonderful talks. You can tell I done got used to this, huh? Is, when you feel like you're not doing something right and you just keep saying those little, I hope this is okay. I hope this is okay. God help me. Then you're trying to master the feeling of weaknesses within yourself. So here they're talking about, and Dr. Masters talks, mastering weaknesses through your inner God power. Inner God power, that's a biggie. Oh, the inner God power that you reach through meditation. You can use candle meditation to get to that point. And that's a whole nother session. And gosh, I hope that you guys enjoy it. And I hope that I get some feedback to you guys so that I'll know what direction I want to go in, that could prepare everybody to get from point A to point B, because there's a whole bunch of points. I mean, there's as many points as there are stars in the sky, because that's how many we are. Many. Many in one, or one in many. Because I'm going to close this right now because I don't want to have it too long. But when I say many in one in many, that is, we are the breath of God. We breathe the breath of God. And we are the life, the light, in the way that is what we live. So until next time, if I can figure out how to turn this off. Oh, okay, I got it. So until next time, hopefully you guys will have some questions. That's my grandson. He's cool.
I'm hungry.
Okay, we're going to go right now and get you something to eat. Thank you, people. And remember, you're in the midst of God's love. Goodbye.
Peace out.